Hello, my friends. Welcome back. Today, we travel far back in time. Back to a hot day in a hot land. Back to an army, tired and far from home. Imagine this. Thousands of soldiers, strong men, brave men, men who had marched for 10 long years. They had crossed deserts. They had crossed mountains. They had crossed rivers no Greek had ever seen. And now, they were angry. What made them so angry? And what did their king say to them that day? Some call it the greatest speech in history. Today, we find out why. This is the story of Alexander the Great and the mutiny at Opis. Before we dive in, my friends, take a second. Hit that subscribe button. It helps this channel grow. Now, let's begin. Alexander was born in Macedon in 336 BC. His father was King Philip. His mother was Olympias, a fierce and proud woman. Young Alexander was clever, he was bold, he loved horses and he loved glory. He studied under a great teacher. His name was Aristotle. From him, Alexander learned philosophy, he learned science, he learned how to think. But Alexander wanted more than books. He wanted power. At just 20 years old, he became king. His father was gone. The throne was his. And Alexander did not wait. He marched east. He marched into Persia, the greatest empire in the world. City after city fell before him. King after king bowed to him. His soldiers loved him. They trusted him. They followed him to the ends of the earth. But power changes things. Loyalty can bend. Unity can break. Years passed. The march continued. India, Babylon, place after place with no end in sight. The soldiers began to whisper. They missed their homes. They missed their families. They did not know it yet, my friends, but soon their loyalty would be tested, and their king would face the hardest crowd of his life. Alexander's army had marched further than any Greek force before, but now, in the city of Opis, something changed. The king had a plan. He wanted to bring Persian soldiers into his army. He wanted to mix Greek and Persian together as one. To his veteran soldiers, this felt like betrayal. They had fought for 10 years. They had bled for this king. Now he wanted Persians beside them? Persians, the very enemy they had conquered. Anger grew. Whispers turned into shouts. One day, Alexander gathered his men. He announced he would send old soldiers home. He called them tired. He called them no longer needed. He meant it as a kindness. His men heard it as an insult. The soldiers exploded. They shouted at their king. They mocked him openly to his face. Some soldiers cried, "Go conquer the world with your Persians. We do not need you, and you do not need us." This had never happened before. No one spoke to Alexander this way, not ever. Alexander's face turned dark with rage. He leapt from his platform. He pointed to the loudest men. "Arrest them," he commanded. Guards seized 13 soldiers, right there in front of everyone. The crowd fell silent. Shock spread through the ranks. Alexander walked away. He locked himself in his tent. He did not eat. He did not speak, not for 2 full days. 2 days of silence from a king who never stayed silent. The soldiers grew afraid. Had they gone too far? Was their king truly finished with them? Power, loyalty, betrayal. These 3 words now hung over the entire camp. No one knew what would happen next. Not the soldiers, not the generals, maybe not even Alexander himself. But on the 3rd day, Alexander called his men together again. This time, he did not shout. He did not threaten. He spoke from his heart. He reminded them who they were. He reminded them where they came from. "My father found you wandering, poor, without cities, without proper clothing." He told them what he had given them: cities, gold, glory, power they never imagined. He reminded them of the battles they won together, side by side, wound for wound. "I have led you to victory after victory," he said. "I have shared every danger with you." His voice grew louder, stronger, filled with old fire. He showed them his own scars, scar after scar from years of battle beside them. "There is no part of my body without a wound, front or back." The soldiers stood frozen. Many had forgotten this. Many had forgotten who truly led them. Then Alexander said something sharp, something that cut deep. "Go then," he said. "Go home. Tell them you abandoned your king among strangers." He turned to leave. He walked toward his tent once more. Silence fell over the army, a heavy, painful silence. Then it broke. Soldiers began to weep, grown men, hardened by years of war, crying like children. They rushed toward the tent. They begged for forgiveness. They begged Alexander to return. For hours they stood outside calling his name, refusing to leave. Finally, Alexander stepped out again. He did not punish them further. Instead, he wept too. Was this the end of his army, or the beginning of something stronger? The soldiers and their king were about to share a moment unlike. Alexander forgave his men. He embraced them, one by one. Then came something remarkable. A great feast was held for both Greeks and Persians together. 9,000 men sat down to eat, side by side, former enemies, now one people. Alexander offered a prayer that day. He prayed for harmony between Macedonians and Persians. He prayed for partnership, not conquest. It was a moment of unity, rare in any age of history. Soon after, many veteran soldiers did go home, but this time they left with honor. They left with gratitude. They left as friends, not enemies of their king. Alexander himself would not live much longer. He died in Babylon less than a year later. He was only 32. But the mutiny at Opis remained. It remained as one of history's most powerful moments of leadership. What can we learn from it, my friends? Power without connection can break apart. Loyalty must be earned again and again. And true leaders listen, even when it is painful. Alexander could have punished his men forever. Instead, he chose honesty. He chose vulnerability. He showed his scars, and his soldiers remembered their bond. Think about your own life for a moment. Maybe you lead a team. Maybe you lead a family. Maybe you only lead yourself through hard days and long roads. Like Alexander, we all face moments when others doubt us, moments when we doubt ourselves. The lesson is simple. Speak with honesty, show your wounds, remind people why the journey matters. Power, loyalty, betrayal. These three words shaped one of history's greatest speeches. Maybe they can shape something in your life too. If you enjoyed this story, give it a like. It truly helps this channel grow. Subscribe if you have not already. More stories like this one are coming. Tell me in the comments, which story should we explore next? Until next time, my friends, stay curious, stay strong.